Hello students. So today we'll continue with our PYQ series. Today's topic is mathematization and linear equation. So mathematization is a very fundamental skill that one is supposed to have, and it is the ability to convert the given word problem into equation, and then we can either solve those equation, or if the question is of data sufficiency, we have to comment on whether it is possible to solve the equation, either of the two. So this is that particular topic, and there are of course many questions that come from this topic. This year there have been less questions from this topic because there were more from basic addition, subtraction, multiplication, division topic. But in 2022 and 2021 there were a lot of questions from this topic where you had to firstly convert the given word problem into equation. So given word problem might seem very complicated or might be of 3, 4, 5 lines, but if you convert that problem into equation, you have to firstly choose the right unknowns like x, y, z. These are what we call unknowns. We don't know their value. They are variables. They vary their value. And then we have to choose right unknowns, then write the equations, and thus write the conditions on the unknowns from the given problem and thus solve the equation. That is the simple process. So challenges in this particular chapter arise with, firstly, there is perhaps perceived complexity in language. So for some students, the language of the problem might be very complicated. Like you cannot understand what the question wants you to do, or you are just exhausted by just seeing the 3, 4 lines. Second challenge is choosing right unknown. That is the second challenge. Thirdly, actually deciphering what constraints are on the unknown, and then solving the equation. Solving is not a very challenging part. Still, it requires practice to do it at pace and at accuracy, but the most challenging part is with respect to earlier aspects. So let us see PYQs from this particular chapter from last 5 years. So let us see the first question. We are given 5 children with the ages A, B, C, D, E, such that age of A is less than B, B is less than C, less than D, less than E. That is what we have. Plus there is another information that 2 successive ages differ by 2 years. That is what is given. So what is given? That B minus A is equal to 2. 2 successive ages differ by 2 years. Then C minus B is equal to 2. Then D minus C is equal to 2. E minus D is equal to 2. This is what we are already given in the statement. Each successive age is differing by 2. All these are integers or natural numbers, okay, because these are ages. Fine. So we have 4 equations. We have 4 equations, and how many unknowns are there? 5 unknowns, A to E. So again, I have mentioned this earlier as well in this series, and I'll mention this again. If you want to solve for n unknowns, you need n equations that are different from each other. So here there are 5 unknowns and we have 4 equations. These are all linear equations. We have 5 unknowns, we have 4 equations. So if you want to solve for these unknowns, which is A, B, C, D, we need one more equation. If we have one more equation, we can solve this. So let us see what is the question. Question is, what is the age of youngest child? Who is youngest child? A. We have to find A. But again, if you find any of them, we can find all of them, no issues. Statement number 1, the age of eldest is 3 times the youngest. Eldest is E. So this says this is nothing but E is equal to 3 times A. That is the equation. Is this different from all these equations? Yes. Is this another equation? Yes. Is this 5th equation? Yes. So we have 5 equations, 5 unknowns. With statement number 1, we can solve for A, definitely. So with statement number 1 alone, question is solvable. Now let us look at second statement. The average age of children is 8 years. What is it? What does it mean? It means A plus B plus C plus D plus E by 5 is equal to 8, or addition of A plus B plus C plus D plus E is 40. Now is this different equation than this? Yes, we don't see any of these equations here. Right? Even if we add, subtract, do anything, we won't get this particular equation. So it is a different equation, and different equation. So fifth equation. So we now have 5 equations, 5 unknowns. So statement 1 alone also is insufficient to solve this problem. So is there an option? The question can be answered by using one of the statements alone. Oh no, sorry, either of the statements alone. Either of the, koi bhi chalega, either of the statements alone is sufficient to solve this question. Now what did we use? We only use the fact that we already are given 4 equations. To solve for 5 unknowns, we only need 1 more equations, because 5 unknowns means 5 equations are needed to solve. The question is, one of the unknowns have to be found. Like A was the thing that was being asked. Now any fifth equation would lead us to solution of all the 5 unknowns. So A is also found naturally. So any of the equation is sufficient to solve this problem. Fine, let us come to next. Again, this is a typical question from Venn diagram type of questions, but it can be solved very easily using equations chapter. So let us see, there is a party, we have 75 persons who took tea, 60 persons who took coffee, 15% took both, no one taking milk takes tea, and each person takes at least 1 drink. So how many drinks are there? Firstly, there is tea, there is coffee, and there is milk. There are 3 drinks, okay, and every person takes at least 1 drink, that is given. Question is, how many persons attended the party? So total number of people that is asked. So what we have something like this. If this is total number of people, these are the people who take tea, this is coffee, this is, let us say, milk. This is tea, this is coffee, and this is milk. Firstly, what do we have? So let see. Let me draw a bigger diagram so that everything is clear. Okay, so this is it. This is 1, 2, 3. So this is tea, this is coffee, this is milk. Let us see how many unknowns are there. Firstly, let us say here there are X. So people who only drink tea. Then let us see, this as Y, this as Z, this as, let us say, P, Q, R, S, and let us see here there are T people. Now what is given? Let us see how many unknowns. Firstly, we have 3 plus 4 7 plus 8 unknowns. So to solve for 8 unknowns, how many equations we need? We need 8 equations. Now let us see if we have 8 equations. Firstly, in the information, how many equations are there? Let us find out. There are 75 people who took tea. So what do we have? One equation, X plus P plus S plus Q is equal to 75, right? Okay. 60% who took coffee. So what do we have? Y plus P plus S plus R is equal to 60, equation number 2. And 15 people who took both tea and coffee. So P plus S is equal to, what is it? 15. We don't have to solve this equation, we just have to comment on whether it can be solved or not. Okay, now next is, no one taking milk takes the tea. So what is the intersection of milk and tea? This is milk and tea. So no one taking milk takes tea. So here no one taking, so Q plus S has to be 0, because these are the people who take both, but there is no such people that is given. So Q plus S is equal to 0. No one taking tea takes milk, so this intersection is 0. Fine. What else? Each person takes at least 1 drink. So T is 0. This small t is 0, because every person in this party takes at least 1 drink. So how many equations do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equations we have. Okay. Question is, how many people attended the party? Okay, fine. Statement number 1, 50% persons took the milk. So milk is this. Statement number 1 wala equation is T, 50 persons took the milk, na? So Z plus S plus R plus Q is equal to 50. And second statement is number of persons who attended the party is 5 times the number of persons who take milk only. So milk only wale is 5 times Z is equal to number of persons who attended the party, which is sum of all those things. So X plus Y plus Z plus P plus Q plus R plus S plus T. Okay, fine. How many equations we have? We have 7 equations. Have we written down all the equations? I think these are all the equations. 75 persons took tea, right? This 60 persons took coffee, 15% persons took both. Then there is nothing in common here. P plus S is 0, Q plus S is 0, and T is 0. That is the known things. Now, because Q plus S is 0, both of them have to be 0. Clearly, because otherwise, because these are persons, these are number of persons, na? So both of them have to be 0. So T is 0, Q is 0, S is 0. So 3 quantities we already have from these 2 equations only. Another equation which is not really mentioned is everything is greater than 0, na? Greater than or equal to 0. Q is greater than equal to 0 and S is greater than equal to 0. Because of this, we have S, Q and T all are 0. And now let us see, this is 3 equations and these are 2 equations. We have 5 equations and how many unknowns? There were initially 8 unknowns, out of which 3 are already found out. So 5 unknowns, 5 equations, can we solve? Yes, we can solve for everything, and that is why we can comment on how many persons attended the party. Everything is known now, so we can comment. But can we do that with one equation alone? No, we cannot, because then there would be 4 equations and we have to solve 5 unknowns. That is why both the statements are needed, but question can be solved using both statements. So answer is statement number A. Okay. Let us go to next question. Now again, this is a kind of mixture of arithmetic and equations chapter. It's a very peculiar question and perhaps one of the tougher questions that have been asked from last 2-3 years. Same question was asked 1 year back, like in 2021, same question was asked, but only instead of integers, the question asked about natural numbers. That is how it was different. So let us see, we are given sum of 3 consecutive integers is equal to their product. So we take 3 integers, x minus 1, x and x plus 1. Why do we take something like this instead of x, x plus 1, x plus 2? Because we have to take sum and this plus 1 minus 1 can get cancelled if we take integers like this. So what do we have? X minus 1 plus x plus 1, sum of 3 integers is equal to their product. What is their product? X into x minus 1 into x plus 1. This is the equation now. This is what we have from the given information. Let us add. This is 3x is equal to x into x minus 1 into x plus 1. Now here we have x, here we have x. Natural instinct would lead you to cancelling x from both sides, but cancelling means division. Cancelling means we are dividing both sides by x. When can we cancel or when can we divide? When the number is not 0. Because we cannot divide by 0, that is not allowed. So we make cases, we make 2 cases. Case 1 is when x is equal to 0, case 2 is when x is not equal to 0. We are just trying to find out possibilities. So when x is equal to 0, what are x minus 1, x and x plus 1? These are just minus 1, 0 and plus 1. Do they follow this property? Sum of these 3 is 0, product of these 3 is again 0. So this pair, this triplet clearly follows the property. So this is one alternative. This is one possibility. Now if x is not 0, we can cancel x. So we get 3 is equal to x minus 1 into x plus 1. So 3 is equal to, what is this? This is nothing but x square minus 1. This is direct multiplication. So x square is equal to 4, which means x is equal to plus or minus 2. Because x is an integer, not a natural number. Minus 2 ka square is also 4. That is why x has two values, plus 2 and minus 2. So what do we have? Three options as minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and 1, 2, 3. X is minus 2. So x plus 1 is minus 1, x minus 1 is minus 3. And if x is 2, x minus 1 is 1, x plus 1 is 3. So this is one possibility and this is another possibility. That is all. So 1, 2 and 3. There are 3 possibilities. I think this was on the tougher side because you had to firstly consider, you have to firstly form the equation. Yes. Then you have to take note that we can cancel only when x is not 0. So that case had to be considered differently. And for for x non-zero, you just have to form the equation. But whenever taking root of this square, you had to take both possibilities, plus as well as minus, because these are integers. If this question was only about natural numbers, then this would be not allowed. This again also not allowed. So answer would be only one possibility. So it is important that you know what do we mean by integers, what do we mean by natural numbers, and so on. Fine. Let us come to next question. Now again, this may seem like a question from ages chapter, but this is actually from linear equations or mathematization. Let us see. Question is, what is the age of Manisha? There is some girl Manisha. Question is, what is her age? And what is information we have? Statement 1 says Manisha is 24 years younger than her mother. So there is one more person. There is Manisha, and then that is her. This is Manisha and it is her mother. Okay, so there are two unknown quantities, age of Manisha and age of mother. So if we have two unknown quantities, how many equations we need? We need two equations to solve. So that is what we have to see. Are we getting two equations or not? So from statement 1, what do we have? Manisha is 24 years younger than her mother. So what do we have? Mother minus Manisha is equal to 24. This is one equation. Can we solve using only one equation? No, we need two equations for two unknowns. Now, and statement 2 is 5 years later, age of Manisha and her mother will be in the ratio 3:5. So what is age of Manisha? 5 years later, it is Mn plus 5. And what is age of mother? Which is Mo plus 5. And their ratio would be 3 plus 5. 3:5, that is given. Now, is all we have to check is this would be one equation, this would be another equation. If these two equations are different, then we can solve for age of Manisha. If these two equations are same, then we cannot solve. So all we have to check is, are these two equations same? So we can check. So we can cross multiply. So we get 5 Mn plus 25 is equal to 3 Mo plus 15. So is this same? Mo minus Mn is 24. Here 3 Mo minus 5 Mn is 10. This is entirely different equation than this. So we have two independent equations. So we can solve. Question is only, can we solve? Can we find age of Manisha? We don't need to actually find. We don't need to do that. This is just data sufficiency. So statement 1 alone is definitely not sufficient because it gives only one equation and we need two unknowns. We have two unknowns, so we need two equations. Statement 2 alone is sufficient? No. It is also giving only one equation. We need one more. But together they are sufficient. So both the statements are sufficient to answer the question. That is the answer. We don't actually need to find the answer. We just have to comment, can we find the answer? And we can, because for two unknowns we have two equations. Let us see next question. Okay, let us come to next question. Let us read the question. We have a total bill of 1840 rupees and we have to pay it in the denomination of 10, 20 and 50. Okay, fine. 50 notes in total are used. Fine. So we have already one constraint. So we have some notes of 50 rupees, some notes of 10 and some of 20. That is what we have to do to pay this particular bill. And total we have to use 50 notes. So let us, it is hinted that because this is given 50 notes in total are used, you have to consider number of notes as unknowns. So let us see, let us say that we are using X notes of 50, Y notes of 20 and Z notes of rupees 10. and using this, what do we have? X plus y plus z is equal to 50, because we are using total nodes as number 50. Now that is one equation out of, we have 3 unknowns, na? 3 unknowns, and no, there is one more equation hidden. The total bill paid is 1840. So what do we have? 50 times x plus 20 times y, value of all the 50 rupee notes that are used, plus 10 times z is equal to this 1840. Okay, so that is another equation. So we have 2 equations and we have 3 unknowns. How many equations we need to solve this question? One more. Now let us see what are the statements and what is the question. Okay, the question is little bit different. Question is, which of the above statements are not correct? So there are some statements which are correct, there are some statements which are not correct. Let us see the first statements. 25 notes of 50 are used and remaining are in the denomination of 20 and 10. So what is this? 25 notes are 50 are used. So it has given x is equal to 25 and remaining are 20 and 10. Oh, that is natural. So let us put this value. This is third equation. This is third equation. So we can now solve. We have to actually solve and see if this is correct, if everything is consistent. And how do we ensure consistency? That all these x, y, z should be natural numbers, because these are notes, these are number of notes, they cannot be in fraction. That is the condition here. So let us put x is equal to 25 in here. So we get y plus z is equal to 25 from first equation, and from here we get 20 times y plus, or let us do one more thing before we do that. We just cancel 10 from everything. We are dividing by 10. So what do we have? 5x plus 2y plus z is equal to 184. Now let us put x is equal to 25 here. So we get 2y plus z is equal to, this is 25, and 184 minus 25, how much is that? That would be 159. Is this correct? Yes, 159. This is 20, we are putting here. Oh sorry, we have to do, if this is 25, this is 125, so 184 minus 125, not 25. So here you get 59. Okay. And now we have 2 equations, 2 unknowns. How do we solve this? We just subtract this equation from this. So z gets cancelled, and 2y minus y is equal to this minus this. So 59 minus 25 is 34. So we get y is equal to 34 and z is equal to, if you put y is equal to 34 here, z would be minus 9. Now is it possible to have minus 9 notes? No, it is not possible. We cannot have number of notes as negative. So this statement is wrong. First statement is wrong. Similarly, we have to check for second and third statement. So this is bit of a lengthy question. This was a lengthy question, but something which was very doable if you know how to solve the equations. Let us see the second question. What do we have information? 35 notes of 20 are used. Now what we are given here? Y is equal to 35. Right? So let us put, what do we have? X plus z is equal to 15. Right? From first equation, and from second equation we have 5x plus z is equal to, we subtract 184 minus 35 into 2, 70. So we have 114. Right? Right. So how do we solve this? Again we subtract this equation from this. We get 5x minus x is 4x is equal to this minus this. What is this minus this? 114 minus 15 is 99. So x is equal to 99 divided by 4, which is a fraction. This is not a natural number. But can number of notes be fraction? No. So this is also wrong. Number of notes cannot be fraction. Right? So this is also wrong. So what do we have? Let us check for third equation. Third equation is 20 notes of 10 are used. So we have 20 notes of 10. It means z is equal to 20. Okay, z is equal to 20. Let us put, so we get x plus y is equal to 30 and 5x plus 2y is equal to, let us put z is equal to 20 here. So we get 164. That is the equations we have. How do we solve? We multiply this equation by 2 and subtract from this. So what do we have here? Multiply this equation by 2 and subtract from this. So 5x minus 2x is 5x minus 2x is 3 times x, 2y minus 2y 0, and 164 minus 60 is 104. Again, what is x? X is equal to 104 by 3, a fraction. Is it possible to have fraction notes? No. So this statement is also wrong. So in fact, which of the above statements are not correct? All of them are not correct. That was the answer. But this was quite a lengthy question. Not very difficult, but definitely lengthy. It would take a lot of time in examination hall. So it was something to be avoided. Now this is a very interesting question. Not very difficult, but not very easy either, because it required you to be very alert and apply basic concepts very cleverly. Now let us see. We have a person X and he wants to distribute some pens among his 6 children. So he has 6 children. So lot of children. But the condition, let us look at the condition. He has these 6 children, and suppose A gets twice the number of pens as B, 3 times that of C, 4 times of D, 5 times of E, 6 of F, etc. So these are the conditions, that number of pen A gets is twice that number of pen B gets. Number of pen A gets is thrice the number of pen as C gets, and so on. And question is, what should be the number of pens that X should buy so that every person gets even numbers of pens? That is the question. Now in this kind of thing, of course it is a word problem. We have to convert this problem into equations. But for that we have to assume some unknown. So there are two ways we can choose an unknown. First is very clear choice, that whatever is asked, let us take that as unknown, because we have to ultimately solve for that particular thing. Or if there is lot of information given about one particular quantity, then we take that quantity as unknown, because lot of information is given in terms of that. So here every information in this question is given about how many number of pen A gets, twice of B, thrice of C, 4 times of D, and so on. So we assume number of pen A gets as A, let us say, or let us say X. So what do we have? Number of pen B gets would be X by 2. A gets twice of this, no? Number of pen C gets as X by 3, and so on. And what is the condition? We want to find out what is the total number of pens. So what is the total number of pens? Total number of pens, let us say T is equal to X plus X by 2 plus X by 3 plus X by 4 plus X by 5 plus X by 6, right? Number of total pens would be this. Number of total pens is number of pens of A plus B plus C plus D plus E plus F. Now this is just a fraction addition. We can take X common and add. So it is X into 1 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 3 plus up to 1 by 6. What is this addition? Can we add? We have to find LCM of the denominators, which is 60. You can easily check, and if you compute, I hope you are able to do this, you would get 147 x by 60. This is what we have here. So let me rub it off and write the final thing. What we have is total number of pen is 147 divided by 60 times X. X is number of pen A gets. So what is X? X is equal to 60 by 147 times T. Now number of pen A gets is X. So X has to be an integer, right? We cannot have half a pen or 1/4 a pen. So this particular thing has to be an integer. So T, total number of pen, has to be divisible by 147. Otherwise we cannot get integer. So this T has to be multiple of 147. I hope you are following. So T has to be multiple of 147. So T has to be something like 147 294 or some other multiples. Okay, and option is also having 147, 294, so we are going in the correct direction. Fine. So now in this, if t is 147, then x would be 60. In this case, x would be 60. Then what would be number of pen A gets? A would be getting 60 coins, B would be getting half of them, C would be getting 1/3, D would be getting 1/4, then 1/5 and 1/6. Last condition, let us see that number of pens each of them receives is an even number, but this is an odd number, so we are failing here. So if we are having t is equal to 147, we cannot, this person does not have 15 coins or even number of coins, so we have to have t as 294. That is the way we have to solve this question. But in case this doesn't come to you in examination hall, what you can do is just from the option put t as that quantity and check how much pens each of them is getting. But in that case also we have to write that particular equation and do reverse calculation. That equation has to be written some way, one way or the other. So this was the question. This was a very interesting question. Not very difficult or not very easy either. Okay, let us come to next question. We have these 5 friends PQ, XYZ. They purchased some notebooks and the relevant information is given. So Z purchased 8 notebooks more than X did. So what do we have? Z is equal to X plus 8, right? Second, P and Q together purchased 21. P plus Q is equal to 21. Here O, I think that is Q, not O. O purchased, Q purchased 5 notebooks less than P. So P minus 5 is equal to Q. Here X and Y together purchased 28. So X plus Y is equal to 28 and 5. P purchased 5 notebooks more than X. So P is equal to X plus 5. So we have 5 equations, 5 unknowns. It can definitely be solved. Let us see what is the question. Question is, if each notebook is priced at 40, then what is the total cost of all the notebooks? So we have to basically find out how many total number of notebooks were bought. That is X plus Y plus Z plus P plus Q plus X plus Y plus Z plus P plus Q. That is what we need to find out. Okay. Fine. So from here, from these 2 equations, can we solve for P and Q? Yes, these are both the equations are in P and Q. 2 equations, 2 unknowns, we can solve them. What do we have? We have P plus Q is equal to 21 and Q we can take on this side. P minus Q is equal to 5, right? Now we can add these 2 equations. We have 2 times P, Q minus Q cancel is equal to 26. So P is equal to 13. So P is equal to 13. So Q is equal to 8. You can put P as 13 in any of the equations and you get Q as 8. Fine. So that we have. So X is, P is 13. We put here X would be 13 minus 5. So X would be 8. Right. Now X is 8. So Y is 20. From this equation Y is 20. And so Z is X plus 8. X plus 8 is 16. So Z is equal to 16. So we have all the quantities of how many notebooks each one of them bought. What is the total number of notebooks? All of them together. So 8 plus 20, 28 plus 16, which is 44. 44 plus 13 is 57 plus 8 is 57 plus 8 is 65 total notebooks, and every notebook is priced at 40. So answer will be 2600. I hope it was very simple. We just had to write all the equations and solve them. Solving those 5 equations was very easy because those equations were very simple. Okay, now let us see this particular question. It is again a very easy question. All you have to do is write whatever is given in terms of equations. So we have A has some coins, he gives half of them to and 2 more to B, and B does same to C does same to D, and so on. So everything starts from A. So let us write down equation in terms of that. So A gives half of the coins and 2 more to B. This is the equation. A is number of coin A has, B is number of coin B has. Then second is B gives half of the coin plus 2 to C. C does same. C gives half of the coin plus 2 to D. And what do we have? D has now smallest 2-digit number of coins. What is the smallest 2-digit number? 10. So D is equal to 10. That is given. That is fourth equation. So we have 4 unknowns, 4 equations. We can solve them. So D is equal to 10. We put D is as 10 here. So what do we have? This is equal to 10. So 10 minus 2, 8 into 2, 16. So C is equal to 16. And then this 2 minus 2 on that side. B by 2 is 14. So B is equal to 28. And 28 minus 2, 26. 26 into 2 is 52. A is equal to 52. So question is that only how many coins A have in the beginning, that is 52. I hope it was very easy. All you have to do is write these equations and solve it. The difference between 2-digit number and the number obtained by interchanging its position is 54. I don't remember if we have solved this question in arithmetic, but anyway, let us see. I have already said this, that if we have something like this, that there is a 2-digit number and there is a reversal, so x, y, y, x kind of thing. So we have to invariably go by place value system. So what do we have here? Let us first put the condition. Let us say number is xy and its reversal is yx, and we are given that a difference between them is 54. So what do we have? 10x plus y. I think we have solved this. Minus 10y plus x is equal to 54. So we have 9x minus 9y is equal to 54, or x minus y is equal to 6, that we have. And the second statement is the difference between 2 digits of the number can be determined. Yes, that is what this equation is, difference between digits of the number. And the first statement is sum of the 2 digits of the number can be determined only if the product is known. Sum of the 2 digits would be x plus y, that is what we want to find out. So we only have x minus y, so we have one equation. So if we get one more equation, then we can find x and we can find y, and thus we can find x plus y. So we can solve for x and y if we have one more equation that is different from this equation. So any equation is fine. It is not compulsory that we only need this product equation, that xy is equal to something. Even if we have any equation, that would be good. I mean, we just need to solve for 2 unknowns, 2 equations. Any 2 equations would do. It is not necessary that only particular equation would be required. No. Any equation would do. So because of this only word, this statement becomes wrong. Second statement is of course correct. So answer is B. Okay, let us come to this particular question. What do we have? X said to Y that at time of your birth I was twice as old as you are right now, and if the present age of X is 42, then consider the following statement. So we have 2 persons, X and Y. Okay, so we have to comment about their ages. Let us say X ka age X hai and Y's age is Y. That is the simplest thing we can do. So what do we have? The first question is that is present age of X is X and present age of Y is Y. At time of your birth I was twice as old as you are right now. Fine. So at the time of your birth means Y's birth. Y is of course smaller. Y is some maybe kid and X is a older person. So X is talking to Y and he is saying at the time of your birth means how many years back? How many years ago? Y years ago, because if Y's age is, let us say 10 years old, so Y was born 10 years ago. If Y's age is 50 years old, so Y was born 50 years ago. So what our first equation is saying is X age Y years ago, that is at the time of Y's birth, is twice that of Y's age present. Y's age today, that is what is first statement. At the time of your birth, that is at the at this age. So X was X minus Y year old when Y was born. So X was twice as old as Y is today. Y is today Y years old. So we have this particular equation, that is X is equal to 3 times Y. Y is taken that side. And secondly, the percentage of X is 42. So we have X is equal to 42, that is given. So how much is Y? Which implies Y is equal to X divided by 3 is equal to 42 divided by 3 is equal to 14. So we have Y is equal to 14 and X is equal to 14. First statement, 8 years ago the age of X was 5 times that of Y. So 8 years ago, what was the age of X? Today it is 42. So 8 years ago X is equal to 34 and Y is equal to 8 years ago he was 6. So is it 5 times? No. So first statement is wrong. Second, after 14 years age of X would be 2 times that of Y. After 14 years X would be 42 plus 15, which is 56, and Y after 14 years would be 14 plus 14, 28. Is it 2 times? Is it 2 times? Yes. So this statement is correct. I hope it is very simple. We just have to write down the equations that is given in the information, solve for it and comment on which of these given statements would be correct. Important thing to note that this equation forming, this was the crucial part of this question. And I hope it is clear. Okay, next question. A person P asks one of his 3 friends X as to how much money he had. X replied, if Y gives me 40, then Y will have half as much as Z, and if Z gives me 40, then 3 of us will have equal amount. And what is the total number of amount of X, Y and Z? So we have 3 people, we have X, Y and Z. We have to comment on what is the total number of money they have. That is, we have to find out X plus Y plus Z. Fine. If X has X rupees, Y has Y rupees and Z has Z rupees. So let us see how we can write down the equations. So X is replying here. So X is saying something. X is saying if Y gives me 40, so X will have X plus 40, then Y will have half as much as Z. And Y will have Y minus 40. Z is not involved in this transaction. Okay. Here firstly Y is giving 40 rupees to X. So X will be having this many, Y will have this many and Z is having same quantity. And in this case Y will have half as much as Z. So in this case Y is having half as much as Z. Y, this is equal to Z by 2. Okay. So this is one equation we have. Fine. But if Z gives me 40, so if Z gives him 40, so we have here he'll have Z X plus 40, Y will have same and Z will have Z minus 40. Then 3 of us will have equal amount. That is what he is saying. Then 3 of them will have equal amount. That is X plus 40 is equal to Y is equal to Z minus 40. That is the equation. Fine. Now you may think that we have 3 unknowns but only 2 equations. But no, this is not this is not one equation. This is one equation and this is one equation, because there are 2 equality signs. So now yes, we have enough number of equations. We have to solve for X, Y and Z. Let us solve. So here we have equation in Y and Z. So let us use this equation in Y and Z. This is Y is equal to Z minus 40. Let us put this as a Y here. So what do we have? Z minus 40 is Y and minus 40 is equal to Z by 2, which implies, what do we have? We can take Z by 2 here. So Z minus Z by 2 is Z by 2 is equal to 40 and 40, 80. So we have Z is equal to 160. Z is equal to 160, put it here. So Y will be 120. And because Y is 120, X would be 120 minus 40 from here. So X would be 80. Question is, what is the money they have together? That is X plus Y plus Z. So 80 plus 120 is 200. 200 plus 160 is 360. Answer is B. Very simple. All we have to do is write down the equations and solve them. Okay, let us look at this particular question. In an objective type of test, 90 questions, 5 marks are allotted for every correct answer, 2 are deducted for every wrong answer. Okay, so our CSAT kind of paper, but marking scheme is little bit different. After attempting all the 90 questions, a student got total of these many marks. So what is the number of incorrect responses? Okay. So we have to talk about incorrect responses. So let us say that student, and another thing is given that he attempted all the questions, all the 90 questions are attempted. So if he attempted all the questions, that is 90 questions have been attempted, and if incorrect responses, let us say he attempted I number of incorrect responses. So what is his correct responses? 90 minus I. There is no vacancy. So because he has not left any question alone, he has attempted all. So he attempted this many correct, this many incorrect. We have to find out I only. Okay, fine. And so only one unknown is there, I. So we need only one equation. How do we form this equation? Out of this marks. So he has 90 attempted 90. How many marks he has? So he has 387 marks, which is equal to 5 marks for every correct answer. So 5 into 90 minus I. That's many correct. And 2 are deducted for every wrong answer. So minus 2 into I. That is, these are incorrect number of attempts. No? This is the equation. This is equal to 90 into 5 is 450 minus 5i minus 2i minus 2i. So let us take 387 on that side, 5i plus minus 2i, this is minus 7i. So total we have 7i is equal to 450 minus 387, which is equal to 63. 7i is 63, so I is equal to 63 by 7, which is 9. Answer is A. Very simple. All we have to do is just out of this word problem we have to form the equation and then solve the equation. Forming the equation is the most challenging part. And how do we form that? We have to first choose an unknown. Here whatever the question is asking finally, that is most of the times chosen as unknown. That is the easiest thing. But sometimes there is too much information given about some other quantity, then we choose that quantity as unknown. So here we chose I as unknown, and because everything is attempted, correct attempt would be 90 minus I, and then equation is formed. Okay, now let us see next question. And there are two people, Jay and Vijay. They spend equal amount of money to buy some pens and some pencils of the same quality from the same store. So they are going to the same store and buying pencils and pens, and they have same amount of money to begin with. If Jay bought 3 pens and 5 pencils and Vijay bought 2 pens and 7 pencils, then which of the following is correct? So what is costly, which of the pen and pencil are costing more, that is something we have to comment on. So let us see if we can comment on it. So let us see that price of pen is pen costing X and pencil is costing Y. Let us say that, because that is what we have to comment upon. So what is the equations that we have? Let us say initially they have same quantity. We can take that any quantity. Let us say K. We can take K as any value, 100, 200, anything. So first equation is J bought 3 pens and 5 pencils. So this is what he is costing, 3x plus 5y. This is the money J spent. And Vijay bought 2 pens and 7 pencils. So that is 2x plus 7y. And total number of total cost of these quantities J and Vijay has to be same, because they have same amount of money to begin with. This is equal. So let us take x on this side. So x is equal to 2y minus 5y, 7y minus 5y. So this is the equation we have. Price of pen is 2 times price of pencil. So which is costlier? Pen is costlier. That is the answer. Yes. Price of pen is 2 times price of pencil. This is what we have got. I think we have solved this question. Okay, let us see what we have here. is we have two statements and followed by a question. There's two statements are, we have two numbers and information is their product is 21. So x y is equal to 21 and their sum is 10. So x plus y is equal to 10. So we have two equations in fact. Question is what are two numbers and which of the following is correct. Now again we have two unknowns. How many equations we need? Two equations. Do we have two equations? Yes. Does any statement alone gives two equations? No. So we need both the statements, but if you have both the statement, can we find two numbers? Yes. So answer is both the statement together are sufficient. Very simple. Next question. Fine. There are some nectar filled flowers on a tree and some bees are hovering on it. If one bee lands on each flower, then one bee will be left out. And if two bees are landing on each flower, then one flower will be left out. What is the number of flowers and bees? So there are some flowers. How do you get? So there are some flowers and there are some bees. Okay, we don't know their number. And first statement is if one bee lands on one flower each, then one bee will be left out. But if two bees land on one flower, then one flower will be left out. Now there are two ways to do it. First is from the options, just put these things in this condition and see which is forming as correct. For example, if there are two flowers and four bees, then first condition, is it getting satisfied? That if one bee landing on one flower, so two bees are landing on two flowers, two bees are left. So first condition clearly not satisfied. So this we reject. Then three flowers and two bees. So on three flowers, two bees landing on two flowers and bees are over. One flower is getting remaining. So this is not true. Here three bees and four flowers. So on three bees, three flowers, three bees are sitting and fourth bee is left out. So this is still possible. And if two bees are sitting on one flower, so two bees on one flower, another two bees out of these four on second flower, so one flower is left. So this is the answer. That is how you can solve it very, very quickly and very, very simply. But if you want to form equations, that is also possible. So if f is number of flowers and b is number of bees, what do we have? Firstly, we have number of bees has to be 1 greater than number of flowers. So because if one bee is sitting on one flower, one bee is still remaining. So b minus f is equal to 1. And second equation is if two bees are sitting on one flower. So two bees are sitting on one flower, then one flower is remaining. So flower minus b by 2 is equal to 1. So these are the two equations. If you solve, this is the answer you get. But this question could be solved without forming the equations. Very easy. Okay. Next question is in aid of charity, every student in class contributes as many rupees as the number of students in that class. So if there are 10 students in class, every student will contribute 10 rupees like that. With the additional contribution of rupees 2 by only one student only. So total collection is 443. What is the number of students in the class? So if question is what is the number of students in class, let us say there are x number of students. So x student, each of them will contribute x rupees. So we have x square rupees and one student is contributing 2 extra. And total we have 443. This is the equation. So we get x square is equal to 441. And I hope you know squares till 30. So you know that this is square of 21. So x is 21. Okay. Next, a vessel full of water weighs 40 kgs and if 1/3 is filled, its weight becomes 20 kg. What is the weight of empty vessel? So there is vessel and we are filling up with water and putting it on the weighing scale. So there is some weight of vessel and there is some weight of water in it. Okay. So let us say weight of vessel is W. Fine. Or okay, let us say that is V. Vessel is starting from V. And what do we have? Vessel plus full water is equal to 40 kg, and secondly if it is up to 1/3 fill, so vessel ka full weight plus 1/3 weight of water is 20 kg. We have two equations, we have two unknowns. Can we solve? Yes, we can subtract. So we get W minus W by 3, so which is 2W by 3 is equal to 40, which implies water ka full weight is 80 by 2, 40 nahi 60, 120 by 2 is 60, so W is 60. Is this something wrong here? Empty vessel plus full water is 40. This is 20. This is what is wrong. So we have, this is 40 minus 20 is 20, na? So W is equal to 20 into 3 60 by 2, so 30. So this is 30, so this is 10. Empty vessel is 10 kg. All you have to do is form the equation and solve the equation. Next question, in this sum, what is x? So naturally there are multiple x's involved and there are multiple positions. So simplest thing you can do is place value system. So just write this as x plus this 1x is 10 plus x, 5x is 5 plus x, xx is 10x plus x, and x is equal to 100 plus 10x plus x. We have one equation. This is 50 plus x. Okay, so here this is the equation that we have. I have already written it, and all you have to do is solve for x now. Only one unknown, and we have one equation. So let us see what is the equation. This is 10 plus 50 60, right? This is 60 plus 1 2 3 4 5 plus 10, so 15x is equal to 100 plus 11x. So 100 minus 60, on that side it becomes 40, and 15x minus 11x is 4x. So x is equal to 40 by 4 is there something wrong? I think there is some typo in this question, but this is how you have to solve it. There is some typo here, definitely. Please check this question, but this is how you have to solve. You have to expand everything in the place value system kind of system and just solve this equation to get x. You get single digit answer. Here there is some typo, definitely. Okay. Fine. Let us come to next question. Rakesh and Rajesh together bought 10 balls and 10 rackets. Okay. Rakesh spends 1300, Rajesh spends 1500. If each racket cost 3 times the ball does, what is the price of racket? The question is price of racket. So that should be the unknown that we should choose. So let racket be costing x, and so what is the cost of ball? Let us say that it is also unknown, some ball, it is costing y. So what do we have? Firstly, together they buy 10 balls and 10 rackets. So what is the total cost? 10 balls and 10 rackets, right? This is the total cost, and they spend 1300 and 1500. So total together they spend 2800, 1500 plus 3800, and each racket costs 3 times the ball does. So x is equal to 3 times y. We have two equations. This is one equation, this is two equation. We can solve. We have to find out x. Okay, so let us put value of y from here to in this equation. So we have 10x plus 10 into y is x by 3. X by 3 is equal to 2800. So we have equation in x that should give us value of x. So here you can firstly cancel 10 and 1 0 from here. So x plus x by 3, so which is 4x by 3 is equal to 280, right? So x is equal to 280 into 3 divided by 4. X is equal to, this is 70. 4 7s are 28. So 70 into 3, 210. Let us see next question. I think this is the last question for today. Fine. We have Ina, who was born 4 years after her parents' marriage. Okay, so her parents got married and 4 years after that she was born. Her mother is 3 years younger than her father. Okay, and 24 years older than Ina, who is 13 years old now. Question is, what is the age of Ina's father? At what age did Ina's father get married? That is the unknown. Okay, we have at what age does Ina's father get married? So there are two ways. Of course, you can take this as unknown, but in age kind of question, it is always easier to take today's age or present age as unknowns. So let us see. Let us say today's age of father is F, mother is M, and Ina is E. That is easy. Fine. First thing is, Ina was born 4 years after her parents' marriage. Okay, but we don't know how many years ago her parents were married. Do we know that? Let us write whatever we know first. Her mother is 3 years younger than her father. So we have father minus mother as 3. That is equation number 1. Then 24 years older than Ina. So mother is 24 years older than Ina. So E plus 24 is equal to M. So we have two equations. And who is 13 years old? So E is equal to 13. That is also there. Fine. So we have 1, 2, 3 equations. We can solve them. These are all today's ages. So Ina is 13 years old. So her mother is 24 plus 13. So M is equal to, mother is 37 years old. And father, who is 3 years older than mother, father is 40 years old. Of course. So this we have today's ages. But we want to find at what age did Ina's father get married. So at the time of Ina's birth, what were the ages of mother and father? At the time of Ina's birth means 13 years ago. 13 years ago, mother was 24 and father was 27 at Ina's birth. These were the ages of her parents. But she was born 4 years after the parents' marriage. So at the time of marriage, that is 4 years before he was born, mother was 20 and father was 23. So at these ages they got married. Question is, at what age did her father get married? So answer is at the age of 23. That is quite young, but anyway, for the purposes of this question, that is the answer. So again, some basic things to take note of is, this chapter is very easy once you get hang of it. The single most important determinant is, are you able to form those equations from word problem that is given. So that is the skill that needs to be cultivated, and for that you need a lot of patience to read those multiple statements and ability to choose correct unknown at the first instance. After choosing the unknown, one or many, ability to write down the equation in terms of those unknowns, that is the second thing. And thirdly, you should be knowing how to solve those equations that you have formed, or comment on if it is possible to solve the equations, if there is data sufficiency question. That is what is required. So this is one of the basic skills in mathematics that we need, the skill of mathematization, that is forming the equations out of given word problems. Okay, so again in our foundation batch we will devote at least 2 lectures to this particular chapter, forming equations and one to solving equations, and we'll solve all these PYQs in classroom as well. And I hope there we can dwell on it for a longer time until every one of you is able to do what I did on your own and understand it thoroughly. And yes, today was 5th lecture in this PYQ series. Now till now we have covered PYQs from arithmetic, which were I think around 60 questions. Then we have covered from permutation combination, and today we have covered from this linear equations and mathematization thing. Rest of the PYQs, of course, will continue based on the feedback and based on your response. If you want, please comment, and of course we shall cover it before in some time. Our new batch is starting from 20th of October, and I hope to see all of you there. First 2 lectures would be demo lectures. You can just come and visit. You can ask any doubts you have and see if it is suitable for you. And of course we shall go very slowly and very methodically in all those things, considering the focus of UPSC in mind. So okay, have a good day, all the best. Thank you.